Hey, I'm Adler, one of the co-founders of Comake, and I'm really excited to be sharing standard knowledge language with you. So if you haven't already, take a read of the standard knowledge language docs that you see I'm at here. There's a nice overview with some good visualizations to give you a conceptual example of how it works. So jumping right in, what I have here is about 50 lines of code that uses the power of standard knowledge language to sync my entire folder structure in Dropbox. Not only can it sync my entire folder structure in Dropbox, but it can also do that for Google Drive, Dropbox, any tool that I store files and folders in. I don't have to write any other code than this, and that's because if you've read the documentation, the power of a standard knowledge language verb and the mappings that tell standard knowledge language what to do when a verb is called make it so that I don't have to write any code that interacts with a specific API. I can just use this one line of code that uses my SKL engine to call the get files and folder verb with the proper arguments, and it automatically maps that to creating a request to send to the right API. So to explain what this does from a high level, we down here at the bottom just call the run function. Okay, so this will compile my schemas together, and you see those are just stored locally in my application. I've just have this helper method to frame them and combine them, and I tell SKQL that those are my schemas. I set the schema. So then here I sync my root folder, and that will go through and recursively sync all the files and folders that I have in my Dropbox or any other file storage tool, and I'm going to log them to the terminal. So you see, most of the rest of this code is just kind of boilerplate recursively looping through to sync all my files and folders. You see that get all folder children, and then for each of those children, sync them as well. And it executes those promises sequentially and returns the children. So this is where the magic happens inside of get all folder children. We call this verb get files and folder with my Dropbox account and the root folder, or whatever folder is being synced, and it automatically maps that to the right API, so that when I run this this script just through npm run, you'll see it'll take a second because it's sending a request for every single folder in my Dropbox, but you'll see it returns the 2 folders that I have at the root of my Dropbox, and then you see this list of children for all of the children of those folders. So really excited to be sharing the power of this with you. Just in 50 lines of code, I was able to return all of the files and folders in my Dropbox. We're going to be creating a UI for this little application soon to be kind of like a universal file browser where a user could have a visualization of all of their files in Google Drive, Dropbox, Box, or any file storage tool they want to use, and that application can be written really quickly with very few lines of code and just the right configuration to work with standard knowledge language. So stay tuned. Thanks.